Good day, pre-algebra. We are continuing PO26, where we learn about a couple of different formulas that will allow us to solve for a part, whole, or percentage in a percentage-based question. Which is really, when you have a percentage question, those are the three pieces you have: the part, the whole, the percent. And if you know two of them, you can solve for the third. So, who can remind me what is the proportion that we set up yesterday? You should have this written down because it's no missing. Landon.
Part over whole equals percent over 100.
Yes, and we abbreviated that. Oh, I was going to calibrate. That's how it's going to go. I was thinking there's something else I was going to do before recording, and it was this. But we'll just do it now. Part over whole equals percent over 100. Oh, part over whole equals percent over 100. And you're going to use this method if you like fractions, you like cross products, you like scale factor. It's a really good one to use. What's the equation that we wrote that is a secondary option for solving these types of questions? Again, you should all have this written down because
Ain't no way.
Anthony, since you spoke, what is the equation you have written down in your notes here?
Part equals percent times whole.
Good. The part equals the percent times the whole. Okay. And so as long as you have two of those pieces, you can solve for the third. We did the first one yesterday, so let's now move to the second one. 48 is what percent of 120? We have to identify what's the part, what's the percent, what's the whole. So raise your hand, tell me one of those three pieces, what is it, where do you find it? Landon.
120 is the whole.
And how do you know that 120 is the whole?
Because of the percent.
Right, it follows the word of. That's kind of your big hint for what the whole is. Josie. Okay, what percent is the percent, right? And this time, the percent is what we don't know. Okay, so in the first one, we were solving for the part, right? This what number was the part. Now we're solving for the percentage. Which if we're solving for the percentage, it means we have to know the whole, and we have to know the part. Well, we already said what the whole is, which means the part has got to be the other one, right? The 48. Okay. So there's our pieces. We're going to use both methods here, starting with the proportion method, and it's really just plugging things in now, right? Part over whole, 48 over 120 is equal to our percentage over 100. Okay, we use that formula, we plug in the pieces, we've identified what the variables represent. And there's no real great scale factor to get from 120 to 100. So, join a band, boys. Join a band. Let me teach. What is the alternative method to scale factor? Lily? Cross products is correct. Okay? So cross products means we are multiplying 48 by 100 and dividing by 120, right? So 48 times 100 is 4,800, and we're dividing that by 120. What do we get? Don't need a calculator for this one, right? They both end in a 0, so already we can just cross that out, and we get 480 divided by 12. Which, because 480 ends in a 0, we can ignore the 0. What's 48 divided by 12?
40.
No. 48 divided by 12 is 4.
Oh.
And then we put that 0 back on there for a final answer of 40. Yes.
Yeah,
right. Right answer, wrong question is what that was. It was the correct answer to a different question.
I was just focusing on you picking my hand.
Hey.
Good. So 40% would be the answer. Okay. Questions on that method and what we did there? Okay. Next one, using the equation method. Same thing. Part, percentage, whole. Boys, warnings for all of you. Shush. The part is 48. We're solving for the percentage, so we still don't know what that is. And our whole is 120. Okay. So this is set up as an equation, right? We're going to have to use equation methods to solve it. What's the method that we've been working with since PO16 when solving an equation? Excellent. Excellent. Yes. What is the method that we've been using to solve for a variable, solve an equation since the beginning of equation solving for us? Yes, quiet kid in the back. Good. Order of operations, opposite operations, right? And so we have 48 equals percent times 120. The operation that's happening here between our unknown, the percent, and the whole is we're multiplying them, right? And the opposite of multiplication is division. So our one step to solve this is we're going to need to divide both sides by 120. Okay? This is why every equation solving objective we've had so far has been a PO. Because if you don't know how to solve an equation, then a lot of what we're going to be doing after this is going to be a lot harder than it needs to be, right? That opposite operation. We're multiplying by 120, so to undo that, we divide by 120. That cancels that out. And what's 48 divided by 120? 0.4. Okay, 0.40. And remember I said that the equation method is for those who prefer percentages as decimals. 0.4 isn't our answer. We now have to convert that. What is 0.4 as a percentage? 40%. Okay, 40%. Same answers we got before, right? So the method works. It's just a matter of which one you prefer. Right now, just by a quick show of hands, who prefers the proportion method? Who prefers the equation method? Some of you are still afraid to raise your hand. Okay, that's all right. The last one, 18 is 25% of what number? Let's pick out our part, our whole, our percent. What are the pieces? William.
Part is 18.
Part is 18. How do you know that?
Because it says is.
Oh, so you've kind of picked up on the fact that, you know, the word of kind of goes along with the whole. The word is seems to oftentimes go along with the part. Okay? That's not as common as of with the whole, but you are correct. Is will typically go along with the part. Landon. 25 is the percent. That's the easy one, right? It's got the percentage symbol there. And then this time we're solving for the whole, right? Of what number? Let's set our, actually, go ahead. Set your proportion up, okay? Part over whole equals percent over 100. We've got the pieces identified here. Go ahead and set up the proportion that we are going to solve. You don't have to necessarily solve it. Go ahead if you want to, okay? But at least practice getting that set up.
Yeah, bro. I swear. This took like
Shh, boys. Your proportion should read 18 over W, right? Part over whole equals 25 over 100. Okay? Cross products to solve this. There's no great scale factor from 18 to 25. So using cross products, we've got 18 times 100 divided by 25, or literally, actually, you know, we're really multiplying both in a cross-like fashion. So we have 18 times 100 equals 25 times W. 18 times 100 is 1800 equals 25W. And since we now have an equation, but cross products, we're going to divide both sides by 25. We see we divide. It makes sense because we're multiplying there. 25 times the whole to undo that. Divide by 25. And what do we get?
72.
72. Okay, I'll put it up here. 72. Okay, 1800 divided by 25 is 72. So 18 is 25% of what number? 18 is 25% of 72. Okay. Using the equation method, I'm going to put it over here so I have more space, right? I don't have to scrunch it. Hopefully you've got some space left there so it fits on your page. But using the equation method, 18s are part. We know the percentage. We don't know the whole. So 18 is 25% of W. This is the decimal method. So we're going to convert 25% to a decimal, which is what, Anthony?
I just have a question.
Yeah.
So instead of no, could you just do 18 times 100 divided by 25?
Yes, it was essentially what we did then. But yes. Yeah. We just wrote it out. It's a little bit longer. 25% is a decimal. Aiden. 0.25. Okay. So 18 equals 0.25 times W. Opposite operations, get W by itself. We're multiplying 0.25 by the whole, so we're going to divide both sides by 0.25. And 18 divided by 0.25, spoiler alert, is going to give us 72 as a decimal. Remember, when you divide by a value less than 1, your original value is going to go up, right? It's going to increase. Okay. Yeah, Kristen.
Under the 25 W, is that supposed to be a 2 with an equal sign?
No, it's supposed to be a 25. I think I was writing at an angle. My apologies. 25. There we go. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, comments, congratulations, criticisms on this. Because if you flip the page, what do you see?
A lot of words.
A lot of words. Okay? A lot of words. Most situations for which you will use these methods are real-life situations. Answer each question below. Showing the work. Round decimal answers to nearest 10. Your bookshelf has 150 books in it. 20% are on the top shelf, 50% are on the middle shelf, and 30% are on the bottom shelf. How many books are on each shelf? Let's start with the top shelf, right? We have 3 different percentages here. So we will have up to 3 calculations that we'll need to solve. So let's start with the top shelf. The bookshelf has 150 books. 20% are on the top shelf. What's our part? What's our whole? What's our percent? You'll see I have intentionally worded this to leave out the word of. Okay? So think about the situation. 150 books total. 20% are on the top shelf. We want to know how many books are on the top shelf. What's our part? What's our whole? What's our percent? Peyton.
So we're finding the part.
Yes.
The whole is 150.
Yes.
And the percentage is 2050.
Good. You can also think of the whole as like the total. If there are 150 books total, here we use the word of, 20% of those books, of the 150 books, are on the top shelf. So we want to know how many of those books are on the top shelf. The part is the variable. That's what we're solving for. The percentage, or the whole, as Peyton said, is 150. That's our total number of books. And then our percent for this first calculation, is 20%. Okay? Go ahead and solve this using any method that you want to. Make sure you show your work. Proportion, equation, calculator. Great. Done with con? You can work on stuff to make sure that as we go over answers, then you check in.
Where do you keep your calculators?
I've got one on my desk. Use it.
Which one should I take? This one?
What?
Which one?
That one's fine. Okay, I'll use the proportion method for this one. So we have part over 150 equals percent over 100. cross products just to solve it. What'd you come up with? Yeah.
30.
30 is correct. Anyone not get 30 and not sure why?
No, I got 30.
Anybody?
What'd you use?
Okay. The next calculation. Let's do it in red, but let's be smart about this. 50% of the books are on the middle shelf. 50%. What do you think when you hear 50%? Yeah.
Like,
I usually think half.
Half, right? So half the books are on the middle shelf. Can we do this mentally? Probably. What's half of 150? 75. Done, right? Sometimes, the work here, we don't have to set up that formula because we can just do it, okay? The formula is helpful for when we can't do this, right? But the work here, 50% equals 1/2. Half of 150 equals 75. The work here was converting that percentage to a fraction, thinking about it as 1/2 and then taking half of 150. Again, notice that word of, right? Here it appears 150 is the whole, percentage of the whole. Okay? Gosh, math is so much fun when you can do all this stuff with it. And then tell me, do we need to do a formal calculation for the last one? To find 30% of the books are on the bottom shelf? Regan, you're shaking your head no. Why not?
Because you can just add the two and then subtract it.
Yeah, if we already have 2 of the shelves solved for, we've got 105 books accounted for here, right? 30 plus 75, 30 on the top shelf, 75 on the middle shelf. How many books are left? 45, right? The work here is we add what we know. We've got 105 books already spoken for. We know there are a total of 150, so subtract those values. There are 45 books on the bottom shelf. I still showed my work, right? So you still need to show it, but we don't have to use that fancy calculation for it, okay? Work smarter, not harder, is the wise phrase, okay? All right, next one. Your homeroom has sold 120 raffle tickets, which is 40% of the goal. How many tickets is the goal for your homeroom? I want you to try this one solo. Okay, I'm going to pause the video, so there's just not a lot of dead air, but give this one a shot, and we'll talk about it. Carry on. Okay, so what did you identify as the part, the whole, the percent? Adrian.
I don't know.
What's the percentage?
20.
No,
No.
we're on to the second one. The raffle
40.
ticket, 40, right? And we can pick that out because it's got that percentage sign there, okay? So now we have the part versus the whole. We talked about this word of. Josie? You have your hand up or no? Oh, I did. We have that word of, and what comes after of is your goal, right? So the goal for the homeroom is the whole of the equation, okay? And it says how many tickets is the goal, okay? We're solving for the whole here, right? So whole and part, we've got our answer, or we've got our pieces in place. If you switch those around, the part and the whole, you would have got an answer of 48.
Yeah, that's what the first time.
Yeah, and then you realize that doesn't make any sense, right? If the goal for the homeroom is 48, we've sold way more than that, and we're only at 40%? What? No, we should be above 100%, right? If we sold more than what we're supposed to, that's like extra credit, okay? So like I said, if you get the wrong answer, you can oftentimes catch it just by saying, is that reasonable? No, okay? So using proportions, 120 over W equals 40 over 100. This one sets up pretty nice for scale factor, doesn't it? Can we get from 40 to 120 pretty easily? 40 times what is 120? They both end in a 0, so you can ignore them. 4 times what is 12? 3, right? So our scale factor here, 40 times 3 is 120, which means we can multiply 100 by 3 to get 300, right? The goal is 300 tickets. Would cross products get you the same answer? Yes. Does 300 make sense here? Well, yeah, because if we've sold 120, which is less than half of the goal, 120 is less than half of 300. It makes sense, okay? If you use the equation method, your equation would look like this. 120 equals 40% times W. Convert 40% to a decimal. Opposite operations, divide both sides by 0.40, and we get 300 as an answer for that as well. Okay. Questions on this one? Your homework for tomorrow is going to be the rest of this page. The rest of this page and the first 5 on the second page. Okay? So up the rest of this page and stop after the bouquet of flowers. Right? So you got like 9 questions in all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 10 questions in all. Okay? The last 5 on the first page and the first 5 on the second page. So stop after the bouquet of flowers on page, what is this?
Wait, so we do
50.
So we do all of 49.
Yes, all of 49, and then stop after the bouquet of flowers on page 50. Okay? Your work must be shown. You can use any method you want to, mental, proportions, equations. You just gotta show your work. Whatever you do, show your work. I use a calculator. Show your work. What did you type into the calculator? Okay? That's what you gotta show me. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, comments, congratulations, criticisms. All right, that's that math.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.